Ken Griffin is one of the wealthiest individuals in the world. He is on the Forbes list of billionaires, and he is certainly one of, if not the most wealthy individuals in Illinois. He is the founder and CEO of Citadel, a very lucrative, successful hedge fund. And he is involved in politics to the extent that he is a major donor, including in Illinois. So he has been a major player in this race. Even in the Republican primary, he has backed Bruce Rauner, a longtime friend of his. He was one of Rauner's biggest donors, aside from Rauner's own donations to himself. But then he broke a record with a donation just last week that was $2.5 million. And it was what many are calling the biggest donation in the history of Illinois gubernatorial races. So he has become a major player. We don't know yet if this is just a first installment or if this is the extent of it. But in addition to the money, he has also given the use of his $50 million jet, which Rauner uses to campaign across the state. Lawmakers went to great pains a few years ago to write a lot of different pay-to-play legislation, and it was in response to Rod Blagojevich and a lot of what was happening there with these huge donations that he was getting. And so what they were trying to do when they crafted legislation was curb these big donations. And so, individuals were limited to $5,300 donations. However, there was a giant loophole in there. If an individual who's running for office wants to self-finance, then the caps come off and there are no more limitations. So, there's a lot of people in the state legislature now who are sort of scratching their heads and saying we never would have imagined that we'd be seeing just a few years later in the next gubernatorial race, $2.5 million donation. That's exactly what the kinds of things that they were trying to avoid.